Right, here I am down at the West Paseo, March 28, 2022. Time is now 7:43 Mountain Standard Time. This is the first day I'm shooting with my Zhiyun Smooth 5. I took a picture of it before I started out here, so in post I'll put a photo of the what my setup looks like here. It's a little bit heavier than the DJI Osmo 3, a little bit more fiddly, but the more I use it, the more I'll be familiar with it and be able to set it up more quickly. One thing I wanted to note here today, last Friday, March 25, I was able to talk to the site supervisor for a little bit, and I got a number of questions answered that I wasn't sure about. First of all, these steps that are directly ahead of me will not be torn out now. What they're going to do is they're going to eventually on the opposite side build another set of steps so that you can walk down into the Paseo. The reason they're not tearing these steps out is that in the future this whole building is going to be torn down and replaced with an apartment building. So there was no point in tearing these steps out and trying to create something new here only to have it, all of it demolished within a year or so. So that's just a cost savings for them, and not wasting time doing stuff that's kind of useless in the long run. Alrighty, we're going to go up here now and hear some equipment going, so we'll see what we got going on here. More trench work down here in the West Paseo. Also, when I talked to the site supervisor, he told me that these white pipes are for irrigation. So all of this work, trench work and stuff that they're doing now is laying work for irrigation. You can also see that they have rebar down here in the trench ahead of me. There's some rebar sticking out. So they got in a lot of rebar, which they're going to be using for concrete work, I believe. So they'll be pouring concrete or something down in here. And there'll be another set of steps here to meet up with this somewhere along here that will allow you to cross over and down into the West Paseo if you enter from that direction. Let me go up here a little bit higher. So a lot of activity and trench work down in here. Some of it associated with the irrigation system, and others I think prepping for maybe the ramp that'll go up in front of the tile store building and whatnot. Also, when I was talking to the site supervisor, I asked him about the handicap ramps over here in front of the little museum. He said yes, they would have dual handicap ramps, and the AC unit that sits over there will be moved around to the side of the building. So that's some of the information there. Looking out to the West Bowl. Walking down through the West Paseo here at all the activity going on. The Zhiyun Smooth 5 is a little bit heavier than the DJI Osmo 3, so feels more robust and sturdier. So it's just a matter of getting used to using something new. But this is what we got going down in the West Paseo here. So I'm going to stop this now, and then I'm going to move on around to my usual points here today. Alrighty. I'm shooting over here from another perspective. Just going to shoot a little bit here just to get a different view of things. Right here I am walking down to the Old Town Tavern. I also did get some information from the site supervisor on when they're going to tear out this sidewalk here in front of the Old Town Tavern. And he said that, basically said after spring training, which will be done by April 7th. But I think what will happen is that would mean probably the week of April 11 through 15 would be the earliest that they would have a chance to start on this. And then what's going to happen is when they do tear this sidewalk out through here, they can't continue the sidewalk down as it is now because the roots of this banyan tree have undermined the sidewalk, and so to the point that the engineer or the construction company cannot cut through or do anything to harm the roots of the banyan tree. So the sidewalk will only come up as far as that footprint, or that footprint weight there, what do you want to call it, for the fence. Just this side of that weight that's closest to me, that's where the sidewalk will end, and then the planter will continue through around the banyan tree all the way up to the wall of the Mexican import store here. So there will be no more through. You won't have the ability to walk through here anymore. It'll be blocked by a planter. So you'll have to, like, to enter the bar, you would have to come down through the main entrance and around between the planter here and into the bar. So let me see if I can climb up here and get a better view of what I'm talking about. So right here, you can see there the curvature there is the edge of the planter, and then down here where this blue stick is, you can see there's another mound, and that's part of a planter there. So that in between this planter and that planter would be the entrance into the bar in the future. When this is exactly all going to occur and how it's going to occur, I'm not really sure, but that is what's going to happen here in the future. You won't have a throughway through the sidewalk here anymore. All right, let's go on down to look over the fence here. Okay, looking over the fence, and I can't really see. But looking down the West Paseo there, I can sort of see what's on the phone screen. So this is a shot over the fence down the West Paseo. So I'm going to cut this short and then move on around a little bit. All right, here I am at the rear construction entrance. looking across into the West Paseo. Just a little shot here, what they're doing. And all their pipe over here is irrigation pipe that they're laying down in the West Paseo. It'll be sort of gridded out in such a fashion as to be able to water and support the trees that they're going to plant down through here. Will be the primary purpose of the irrigation, I believe. So just a quick shot here, looking over into the West Paseo. Alrighty, gonna move on around. Right here I am crossing out of the parking structure, heading into the West Bowl area. See what's happening over here today. A little shot of the AZ88 XOX here. Alrighty. Heading on into the West Bowl. And I think I may have mentioned this earlier, but we're in the 23rd week of major construction now. But in case I didn't, such is the case now. Looking out into the West Bowl here. A lot of activity out in here. Looks like maybe more irrigation work. Hard to tell from right here. Go look over the fence here. Here's a look over the fence. The West Bowl area, activity down here on this sort of cloudy gray day. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we're supposed to get a lot of rain starting early in the morning, and then 100% chance of rain, they say, through noon into maybe about 4 p.m. We'll start slacking off and ending by that time, I think. So let me stop this here. There. All right, I stopped here just to shoot over this fence a little bit, get a different perspective on things. See what's going on here. Just another shot of the West Bowl from this lower level. I'm going to move on up the steps now. Right here, here I am up on my stair perch, looking out into the West Bowl here. So that's what we got going on here. Can't really see that much from here at the moment. This building's blocking some of it, but they are doing activity out there on the Civic lawn and the bridge deck, doing some stuff out there. I learned from the site supervisor that there will be botanic gardens out there on the deck as shown in the presentation. And he also mentioned another thing is that they are a little bit behind schedule due to the fact that there's been engineering changes, some supply chain issues and whatnot. Part of the engineering changes are due to a cost overrun of the project, and the engineers are trying to find ways to cut back on the cost. But that does delay the construction company somewhat in that they have to go back and redo stuff. Work that they thought was completed, they have to go back and change it up or something slightly or whatever. But there are issues with the whole project in the fact that inflation's increasing costs, supply chain issues are increasing costs and whatnot. So they are having things they have to deal with, but that's probably true of any kind of project like this across time, especially 15 months is a long time. So let me go up a little bit higher here. See around the building a little bit. Doesn't look like there's so much activity over in the East Bowl itself. I see equipment over there, but I don't see any people moving around doing anything. So this is what we have up here. I'm going to finish this up now and I'm going to move on around to the eastern end of the project and shoot down in front of City Hall and back over in that area. Alrighty. Alright, here I am down at the north gate. They're continuing with their sidewalk work down here. I can see them, looks like they're smoothing concrete over there. Again, last Friday when I was talking to the site supervisor, he indicated that they do a lot of their concrete pours starting at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So they do need the lights there early on so they can get in here, I guess have time to get the concrete poured and then do all the sort of smoothing and curing of the concrete so that they can get it completed and fixed up as they need. So that's the story there. Also, I asked him about the incline place over there by the library, which used to be the library steps. He said that would be one of the very last things to be completed because he needed to keep that as an access route into the construction site for trucks or whatever he needed to pull in there. As it may be in the future, he won't be able to come in off of the 75th Street or the West Paseo back entrance as he completes those out that way. He'll have this one back entrance just to use as needed. So that's the story there. Okay, so this is what we got down here. I'm going to move just around a little bit to my left here. Right here I'm in front of City Hall looking over the lagoon. Out and their sidewalks are, I can see they've completed sidewalks on around there a bit. And they're starting to work on the forms for sidewalks over here up onto the bridge deck. So those will be sort of something that goes into the Botanic Gardens in the future, which will sit right out there just past where those guys are now. So this is what we got going on down here at City Hall, Civic Lawn area, concrete work. There are some guys over in the East Bowl now that I look over there. And doing something back over there by their truck, but it doesn't look like there's much activity there. This is what I can see from here. Looking across the Civic Lawn over into the West Paseo back over there. So kind of a busy day, but everybody's just going about their business out here. With my gimbal here, I'm a little concerned that it's kind of slanted, but I'm not sure I can do anything about that. Trying to put this microphone into the back end of the phone and pushing it out just creates some issues with balance, I think. So I could just use the microphone on the iPhone, a built-in microphone, but it's not quite as good as the using the Rode, so we'll see in the future. I think tomorrow it's going to rain, so I may come down here early in the rain and shoot anamorphic, so then I won't use the Rode mic. So we'll see how that works tomorrow. I think I'm going to shoot anamorphic down here. So I'm going to stop this here and move around to the East Bowl and see what I can see down there. All right, here I am down at the East Bowl now. Just checking out what they're doing down here. Not that much. I think that's a site supervisor right there coming up in the corner of my view past the tractor. That's the gentleman that I talked to last Friday. He's the most knowledgeable guy about the site. Also, another thing, I'll say it now, I was going to talk about this when I was down to West Paseo, but I forgot to do it. The little busker stage that shows up in the original presentation is gone. It's not going to be there, according to the supervisor. And also the date palm grove is gone. That's not going to be there. That's part of the cost-cutting measures, I think, that they're implementing as they go along here to try to stay on budget as best they can. So they're starting to chop out some things that were going to be sort of costly. So that little stage, which I'll show in a graphic, in the date palm grove that are shown in the original presentation will be axed essentially. They won't be doing those things, and I think other things may get cut back as they go. So it just depends. Some things may be supply chain issue. Can you get the steel and stuff you need to build those things? What's the cost? Is it worth it, to pursue it? So some things I think they're just doing away with to streamline the whole thing and make sure they can make their deadline of January of 2023. So I think I may just finish this up here today. I don't see any point in going over to the library steps. Plus it's harder to shoot over now. They pulled the fence back out a little bit, and I can't get up there as close as I could. So, and like even here where they put up this new fence, I used to be able to shoot back over there between those two palm trees back in there. Where I was shooting from, but now they're doing some kind of construction on City Hall itself. I think that they got a new gate up there that I'm not supposed to trespass through. So anyway, I got quite a bit here today, so I'm going to finish up here, go back home, see how all this looks, and edit it up. So this will be it for today, I think, here. Alrighty.